Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Happy October.
happy October. It's so exciting. October is such a
It
wonderful
is.
time of the year.
And we have sweater weather today.
Yeah, it's nice and cool in North
Yeah.
Dakota. We're so happy
Yeah,
for
we've
that.
had major summer, which we're not complaining about by
No,
any means.
no.
But yesterday kind of started fall off, and today it's a little chilly. It's not bad. It's beautiful actually for fall.
It's
It's
gorgeous
still above what we normally are, I
and
think.
sunny.
Yeah, and
We
it's
like the
sunny.
sun.
Yes, we love the sun as long as we can get it. So
Mhm.
it's been a beautiful day today.
Beautiful.
So we're going to start out October. Well, we're going to do all of October and talk about exploring our intuition,
Yeah.
one of our favorite topics.
Exploring our intuition is a big thing because intuition is a large part of following your own personal guidance, which is
Right.
something we're huge on, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So, it'll be fun to explore the specific topic because a lot of people wonder, how can I get in touch with my own intuition?
Yeah.
What does that really mean?
Yeah.
How can I receive my own messages and my own information and know what direction I'm being guided in? So,
Right.
we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive this month and talk
Yeah.
about that in different ways to communicate, different beings to communicate with, and how
Hmm.
all that kind of
How it all
comes
works out.
together for you.
Yeah. And, your intuition is everything. I mean, it doesn't have to be woo-woo because
No.
we have intuition naturally. And, it's trusting your gut. Some people say that, some people think, if I get goosebumps, then that's the truth. And
Mhm.
you hear that a lot, if you're a business owner, you use your intuition in every decision you make, really, in your life. You should always follow that inner guidance that you have naturally. So it's nothing weird or, you know, witchy or woo woo.
It
It's a
could be.
natural, yeah,
It
could
could be,
be, yeah.
but it's
But
it's
but
natural
it
within
is
everyone.
natural, just like a lot of things that people think are woo woo. But
Right. It's an
you
innate
know,
talent that we all have.
right.
And the more that you hone your intuition and use it, the
Hmm.
more it can be useful for you in your own
Yeah,
life. A lot of people, like you said, there's certain phrases we use. It just felt right.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
I just felt like I needed to get out of there.
right.
Or, I just felt like I needed to turn off on this one exit that I wouldn't normally take for some reason. Or, all of that is your gut feelings. And that's
Yeah,
what people talk about is your gut feelings.
yeah.
Well, that's your intuition, your higher self speaking to you and trying to guide you to the highest and greatest path that you've set for yourself towards the
Yeah,
things that you've asked for.
right,
And so, what better tool to have than your own intuitive senses?
right.
And so we're going to talk about, what that means for you and some different ways to tap into that.
Hmm. Yeah, and it is a muscle that if you use and you recognize when your body is telling you something, the more you do that, that strengthens that muscle. So it's gonna, of course, strengthen your intuition, and you're gonna be more aware of it the more you use it and the more you pay attention and recognize that. So,
Right.
um, yeah, it's really important to do. And I think something that should be taught,
Yes.
that isn't
Right.
in our normal world.
Right. A lot of
We're
times
not
we're
taught
taught
to pay
to
attention.
ignore
Yeah.
our own gut feelings, our
Yep.
own
Yep.
intuitive senses, and listen to somebody else rather than listen to our own internal guidance.
Right.
And that's flip flop. That's the opposite of what
Of
is
what we
innate and what
should do.
feels right for us. So when people say, "No, forget what you're feeling, listen to me,"
Yeah.
we always have that inkling that something isn't right there, but okay.
Hmm.
But we should know that's not okay.
Yeah, that's
I
the
need to listen to me.
right. Yeah. And that's the first sign that I think I'm going the other way,
Oh yeah. Like if somebody says I have all the answers, run.
Right. Yeah,
That's what
that's
we always say. If somebody says, I know all the things, I have all the answers you'll ever need
right.
in your entire life, get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye. Run. Because
Yeah.
that person is lying.
Yeah.
We don't have all the answers. None of us has all the
No,
answers.
we,
Even if you are a very talented psychic medium, you do not have all the answers for everybody
right.
because that's not how this life thing works. I will
Yeah,
tell you that from personal
from
experience.
experience, right?
They may have many answers and things to tell you. However, nobody has all of the
All the
answers to
answers,
life,
right.
the universe, and everything. And
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it, though, too.
it
Is this
is.
journey is amazing, and there's always more to learn because
Yeah,
it's ever expanding and ever growing.
yeah.
So that's the fun of the journey of life, too. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
our intuition is a big part of moving through that journey of life in the highest and best way for ourselves.
right.
And isn't that what we all want? Of
Yeah,
course we do.
yeah,
Of course we do.
it is.
Everyone says they want more happiness. Well, guess what? Your intuition will guide you toward happiness if
It
you ask
really
it to.
will. Yeah,
What?
yeah. It's so cool, right? Yeah, if you notice something in your body, like for me, a lot of times it's goosebumps. Sometimes I feel a flutter in my stomach, or I just know, there's different clairs
Mhm.
that we have. And everyone has a stronger one, or a few that are more strengthened than others. So you just need to pay attention to yourself and your body and see what those things are. Do you sometimes walk into a room and you can feel the energy of the room? Like you can feel if it's negative or positive, happy or maybe it's feels restricted. That's your intuition telling you. So pay attention to that. And if it doesn't feel good, don't go in or don't stay there.
Yeah, so some
Because
people are feelers.
mm-hmm.
So think
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
is that natural for you or not?
Yeah.
So that's one really good example.
Right.
And we talk a lot about paying attention. How does my body feel? What is my
Right.
body trying to tell me right now? Whether you're a feeler like that, where you can feel the energy and
Mm-hmm.
vibration of things or not, your body, that physical sense, will always have something to tell you. And
Yeah.
like you said, sometimes people, when they feel nervous, they get that flutter in their stomach.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me something is off here, either within myself or in the subject I'm thinking about, or
Right.
in my immediate area. Which is it?
Mm-hmm.
Your body's trying to tell you that. So
Yeah.
it's really important to think about, okay, is that natural for me? And if you're not much of a feeler, your body will still tell you.
Oh yeah.
So,
Still will. Yeah.
mhm.
And getting goosebumps, that even if you're not a feeler, like you don't feel it in other ways, there's no denying when you get goosebumps for something. Right.
What does that mean for you?
Right.
When you get it, okay, I got
Mm-hmm.
goosebumps. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You know the certain things that it means for you because you pay attention.
Yeah.
So as you pay attention to the different things that your body is trying to tell you, the different
Mm-hmm.
things that you're feeling in different times and spaces, that will help you to know, okay, now I know that this means this for me, or I feel like it means this for me, or I know that it means this for me, because you begin to pay attention more
Mm-hmm.
to that and your knowing, your own inner knowing about what it means as well.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of people second guess themselves. And
For
that's more of a
sure.
problem than anything else. That's the biggest problem
Yeah.
when I'm talking to people about trusting themselves and their own
Yeah.
intuitive senses,
Yeah.
is they know right away and then they second guess it to the
Right.
point where they get confused.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really common. That's like probably the most common thing that I have to reassure people. You need to learn to trust yourself and your first sense of it, your first
Yeah.
knowing of it, rather than guessing all over the place so you don't know anymore.
Right. Yeah. Don't let your monkey mind talk you out of things that you know are for you, or that are right. Just pay attention. Mostly just pay attention to your body,
Yeah.
what your body is telling you, right?
That's your own internal,
Yeah.
your own internal knowingness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are more, there are more senses that
Right.
people might come about naturally. You talked about knowing, and that for
Yeah.
you is a big one. Is
It
just, I
is.
just know.
Yeah.
Like, how do I know that this is right or this is wrong, or that this is going to happen or this is not going to happen, or this is right for me, this is not right for me, or I need to go here instead of here?
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
just
just know.
know.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one for people, because by just knowing, then that's the most second guessers are the people that are the
Right.
knowers,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're like, like you said, they talk themselves out of their own
Yeah,
knowingness.
yeah, you do.
And it's crazy that we do that, but it's because we've been taught not to trust ourselves.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
we have to almost relearn how to trust our
Hmm.
own intuitive sense in that way.
Yeah, you do. And when you're talking about your intuition, it's never going to guide you wrong. It's never going to guide you to where it's a bad thing or you're going to get hurt or you're going to get, I don't know, go down the wrong path or whatever. And with knowing, it is a hard one, but it's also a really strong one. And if you learn to trust that, whatever you know, and you don't know how you know it, then you know that is your intuition talking, your inner knowing is talking. Because if it's something that there's no way you could know, but you do, then it is. And that sounds weird, but
Yeah, but for me, it's an inspired thought,
yeah,
you know, and it feels different to me when I get an inspired thought than when my own thoughts are running.
yeah.
And one way that I like to describe it is all of a sudden just pops in out of nowhere, whether it's related or unrelated.
Okay.
It just pops in and
Yeah.
it feels, this is where you pay attention. It feels different than my normal running thoughts.
Mhm.
It's like, that's inspired. I got to write that down or I got to pay attention to that.
Right.
And so it's a subtle difference between my thoughts are running and all of a sudden I get an inspired thought that comes in. And that's from like your higher self or your guides or the
Mhm.
source of all that is. There's something there that's important to pay attention to
Yeah.
from the spiritual side of things.
Yep. Yeah. And you just can feel that you can feel that excitement or that joy or whatever.
Yeah,
If
that
it's
upliftment or that pop
Yeah.
almost is like, oh, wow, what's
Mhm.
that? I gotta
Yeah.
pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Another one is hearing. A lot of people will just hear something,
Yeah.
hear a voice or an intuition, but sometimes they hear it in a voice.
Mhm.
So that's not me. Once in a while, it happens to me. Like sometimes I'll hear my grandma say, Trace, or like when I'm supposed to be paying attention, I think she'll just say, Trace, okay, grandma, I'm here,
Yeah.
but, and I'm sure you hear a lot, don't you?
Well, for me, so every once in a while, that'll pop in for me. I don't get a lot of like the actual auditory hearing.
Yeah.
I do sometimes, but it's not very often. Usually for me, it sounds like someone speaking in my head. So like, you know how you have your normal voice that's running and running and running, and it just sounds like you, right? You're used to that inner voice. And then let's say when I'm talking to someone in a reading, like a mediumship reading, I
Yep.
hear someone's voice as if they're speaking to me, but it's not through my ears. It's like thought. What's that again? What's that word? When it's thoughts.
Cognitive? No,
No.
I don't know. You hear it in your head, but
You hear it in your head. Telepathy.
oh,
It's like telepathy.
Okay, yeah.
So it sounds like that person's voice in my head. So it's like hearing it because it is a vibration. Like sound is a vibration, thoughts are a vibration, energy is a vibration. And so it's the same thing. It's just a different way of receiving a vibration.
Yeah.
So it's almost like auditory because it sounds like their voice. Like when I'm talking to my grandma, I'll hear her voice. When I'm talking to someone's loved one, I'll hear their voice.
Yeah.
And it's always really interesting because, I know what my voice sounds like, and my voice definitely isn't a man. So, but that's the same thing with it. That's how I hear it. So even if you don't hear things auditorily, sometimes you might hear them as thought forms in your mind,
Right.
like you would hear them outside of yourself.
Yeah.
But it sounds the same to you in your mind because you're still receiving that vibration, just not through your actual ear canal. It's just really interesting how that can be several different ways. Some people talk about I never hear anything, but you might actually, but you're hearing it in a different way.
In
You're still receiving that vibration,
right,
even if it's not coming through the ear canal in an auditory way. And
right.
so I think that's kind of one of the things that's a little bit left out of like when we talk about the clairs, like the auditory,
Mm-hmm.
is that it could happen in vibration in a couple different ways where you hear, or it's more telepathic hearing,
Mm-hmm.
but you hear it as that person's voice or
Yeah.
as that music coming through or whatever it happens to
Mm-hmm.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. And another one is feeling like, um,
Tactile.
yeah, yeah, feeling it in your body, or you feel how that person that you're talking to
Mhm.
feels. So for instance, sometimes when I do Reiki on someone, I'll feel a pain where they have pain. And I always have to ask in my head, is this mine or yours? And you hear a definite yes or no. So that's kind of an empathic way to feel. Um, I don't always do that, but when I'm healing, I do. I do feel that sometimes,
Right.
So do you feel
Oh, I'm a big
things?
feeler. I feel
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
If I don't have my bubble of,
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah,
all learn different ways to kind of keep my energy, mine, and other people's energy.
yeah.
If I'm not paying attention, sometimes I'll pick up on everything, and
Mm-hmm.
that gets overwhelming.
Yeah,
Some people
yep,
that have anxiety or feelings of anxiety, sometimes it's because you're taking on a whole bunch of energy that isn't yours.
right.
I found for myself that was my
Mm-hmm.
case, and I didn't realize that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Is I was just feeling everything, everyone around me, all the energies around me, everything that was happening all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get overwhelmed. And I thought that was shyness in like
Yeah,
social
I'm the same.
anxiety.
I'm the same. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I realized I am not socially anxious, really. You
right.
know,
Yeah.
I like being in big crowds and around lots of people, but the problem was I was getting bombarded and I didn't know
Yeah,
how to close that off.
right. Yeah.
And so as I learned to do that, I can enjoy being in places where there's lots of
Mm-hmm.
people again, and I don't feel super anxious, and like I can do large, huge expos with hundreds of people
Yeah.
and enjoy the experience and not be
Mm-hmm.
bombarded.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. If you're a feeler, if you're somebody that you said when you walk into a room and you just feel how it is,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. If that's you, then
Yeah.
I would suggest figuring out ways to kind of keep your energy yours and other
Right.
people's theirs.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a feeler, that's a really useful skill.
It
Because
is.
when you walk into a room, you can read the room,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
know exactly what's going on. Is it tense? Is it comfortable? Are people happy or are they unhappy? Are they sad or are they mad?
Mm-hmm.
You can feel that out so you know how to approach the situation.
Right.
That's really helpful in a crisis. It's useful at a party.
Mm-hmm.
It's useful on the street,
Yeah.
wherever you're at, it's a useful thing to have because it can tell you, should I stay in this situation or should I leave?
Yeah.
Can I come back? Is there something
Mm-hmm.
that I can help with here or should I stay out of it? It's really useful thing to have if you are a
Yeah.
feeler to be able to feel out situations and
Mm-hmm.
people and experiences and places.
Yeah. And it is something that you need to play with, kind of, or I mean, a lot of people don't know that that's what's going on.
Mhm.
And that was me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought I was really shy and had anxiety and whatever. And it was just that I was feeling too much around me. But when I figured out how to shield myself, it was good. But I still, to an extent, I mean, I love to go to a big crowd, a concert or a expo or a fair or whatever. But I do have to take that time. I need my alone time too to
Like a
clear
reset.
to clear it
Yeah.
out, clear all of everybody else's shit out. But
Yeah.
but I think that's because I'm mostly, what's that called?
Empathic?
Um, no. Um, anyway, it'll
Words
come to me.
today.
Yeah, what the heck? I didn't meditate today, that's why.
Ah,
Um, yeah. Anyway, I've learned that if I, like when I used to go to a seminar or a big workshop where there were a lot of people and I was learning and taking in everything around me, I would get a bad headache afterwards.
Yeah.
And I'd always have to go home, lay on the couch or something until everything kind of filtered through. And I realized if I shield myself or pat my head, it closes down your crown chakra a little bit so you're not siphoning everything in. And just pat my head before I go in or when I notice I'm getting overwhelmed, then it kind of closes that off a little bit so you're not taking on so much. So you when you know that's what's going on, you can learn how to deal with it a little easier.
Right.
So there's always introvert, that's the word I was trying to think of. I'm an introvert more than extrovert, so
Right.
I need that alone time after I'm in a big crowd.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
yeah.
also partially the empath.
Yeah. I've always considered myself an introvert just because, I didn't want to be around
Right.
all of that. But now that I've learned how to deal with it, I'm much more of an extrovert and I love being around people. Whereas before
Yeah,
no.
didn't want to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can go.
You can go to the bar. I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
but yeah, that's definitely one. And I find if you're a feeler, or even if you're a knower, one of the really useful things, if you begin to hone that skill and know what your body is telling you, you can be a really good lie barometer.
Oh yeah.
Because I know when somebody's lying to me.
Yep. Yep.
And that's really useful because that can help with communication. That can help with, in a lot of different relationships and things like that. Or like, if you have a job where you need to know that,
right.
If somebody's telling you the truth or not, that can be really useful. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to apply that. And so as you build that part of your intuitive sense, if that's something that's natural to you, it can be super useful.
Yeah, it really is. I love it. I love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Because, people can't get things by you as easy.
Right.
And, you can, even if you don't do anything with the information, you still know. You know what you know.
It's like, even if I'm like, sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I understand that you want to tell me that right now. And I don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I still know.
But you still know. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So for those of you who are watching that know me, when you're lying to me, I know. And now you know that. I love and care about you. And appreciate you very much. However, just be aware.
You can't
for the future.
You can't unknow.
I can't unknow it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I let people lie to me if it feels important to them.
Yeah. 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 Whatever. It's their deal, not yours. That's
the thing.
Most of the time,
if there's something they don't want to share, or they're not comfortable telling me the truth for whatever reason, sometimes it's okay to let that go.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's okay. It's like, all right, I get it. I'm a very private person myself.
Yeah.
So I understand that sometimes. And sometimes it's like, well, sometimes you don't put up with that. It just depends on the situation, right?
It depends.
But then you have the choice because you know. Intuition is a beautiful and wonderful tool to have in your life.
It is.
So
there's so awesome.
Okay, so there's feelers. Oh, we didn't talk about vision.
Oh yeah, vision.
Vision is a really neat one, and it's one that some people shut off because it can be a little intimidating. Right? If you see with your physical eyes a lot of things, we know people that do see tons of spiritual energy and different things happening around, and they can tell you about that. Some people see physically with their eyes, like they could see spirits, spiritual energies, different things that are going on around. So people can see just energy. That's one thing that I can see, is like I can see the energy, especially around people and objects and animals and things like that. Some people can see different aspects of things, and some people, they see it in their minds. In their mind's eye. And that's the third eye. People talk about the third eye a lot, and that really is what that's about, is being able to see with it, either within your mind or outside of your mind, the things that are
Right.
happening around. And for me, I have a little bit of both. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to like people in non-physical form or things like that, I see a lot of that in my mind's eye. But then like physically, I can see different energies and what's going on in the body,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I'm doing a healing session. I
Yeah.
can see darker and lighter. I can see different colors
Mm-hmm.
here or there, and I can talk about that with the person.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a little bit that I don't see out outside. Like
Mhm.
once in a while I'll see a blurb or I guess color or whatever. Um, I can see auras, especially if somebody is speaking like on stage and they're really in their, you know, in their passion or whatever. I can really see their shine
Yeah.
around. But I can see like when I'm doing healing work, I can see colors and I'm more of a feeler in that. I can feel the muck or the
Mhm.
sludge or whatever if they have something that they need to release. But um other than that, it's mostly in colors that I see. I'm not a big, one of the things that when I've learned a few of the energy modalities that I learned, and they say, picture this in your head, that's hard for me. I
Mhm.
didn't, now I do because I practiced it, but when I first started, picture this in your mind, and I don't see pictures like that. I can know them, which
Right.
is different, but I had a hard time seeing that. Now I'm okay with that. Now I can see a little bit,
Mhm.
when I need to.
Yeah.
But I more just know or feel.
Right. So that one isn't as natural to you. And for
Right.
me,
Yeah.
visualization is so natural to me.
Yeah.
I can see everything clearly in my mind's eye.
That's
I can
cool.
imagine things. I can create
Hmm.
things in my mind. I can take them apart and put them together. I can see, like, if somebody's doing a meditation, I can see the visualization of that clear as day.
Hmm.
Like, for me, visualization is something that comes super easy to me.
Easy. And
And
that's
that's
awesome.
one of the
Yeah.
things that's really useful as a medium is when I'm doing sessions, I can describe in my mind's eye everything that I see in a
Right.
person,
Yeah.
to describe this is the person
Hmm.
that I'm seeing, and we can determine which, loved one or family member or friend or
Hmm.
whomever that person is, because I can see them. I can see them like they're standing in front of me, but usually it's in my mind's eye
Right.
versus outside.
Yeah.
So everybody has, if whatever level of this that you have presently, you
Hmm.
can develop it like Tracy has. She developed it in her own way to
Right.
create that intuitive sense because you wanted to, right?
Hmm.
So each of these, we each have one that's natural to us,
Yeah.
but we have ones that we can build on too if we want to. And
Yep.
that's kind of the beauty of it. Like you said, it's like a muscle.
Yeah.
We can build that muscle up. So if one is most natural to us, that's perfect. We can keep honing that muscle and
Hmm.
build other ones up with it if we wish to, or just work with that one,
Yeah.
whatever is most appealing to you, really.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's really fun to learn about and to play with. And, there are a lot of authors that write about how to strengthen your intuition and how to get in touch with it. And really, for me, what was the most easy way to do it was to play with cards. One of the things. And to learn healing work. That, learning Reiki really opened me up to a lot of things that I knew naturally, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't know. I mean, I thought everybody knew that, or had it or whatever. But so that really opens you up to, learning about energy, energy modality or something like that. Whatever you're drawn to is what you're supposed to learn. So, trust that and do that and play with that. Um, it's not a scary thing. Like
Mhm.
people that don't know about it, sometimes think, oh, I don't know if I want to know that. Well, and that's okay. But it can help you in a lot of ways in your life if you do strengthen those muscles a bit,
Right.
right?
And the thing is like a lot of people fear what they don't know.
Yeah.
And so if you learn about something, it
Yeah.
takes some of the fear away
It's
and you
not
can
scary.
decide, am I interested in that? Am I not? So
Right.
every time you learn a little bit of something, it helps to take that fear out of it. So then you can go, okay,
Yeah.
is it for me? Is it not for me? But
Mhm.
without that information about it, how do you know if it's for you or not?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the sifting and sorting, that feeling through your intuition. If you're drawn to something, check it out, do some
Hmm.
research.
Yeah.
And then through that research, you can decide, does this feel right? Does it not feel right?
Yeah.
And that's following your guidance, that's
Yeah.
following your intuition, but with the information that's useful because
Right.
you were drawn to the subject. So that it's something that helps you to follow your guidance by learning more. And that's what we're here to do, is to learn and
Yeah.
grow and become more within ourselves and decide what's right for me, what's not right for me, what do I prefer, what do I not prefer, you know?
Hmm.
And that's kind of the beauty of life. Oh, one that I thought about that we haven't talked about yet
Yeah.
before we get into the next piece is the sense of smell.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That one I always find super interesting
Hmm.
because I get that.
Yeah.
And it's at the most unexpected times
Me
sometimes.
too. Yeah.
Like all of a sudden I'll smell lilacs.
Oh.
And my great grandmother, on my father's side, so my grandma, who was my best friend, my
Hmm.
grandma's mother, she, whenever she comes to visit, she smells like lilacs.
Oh,
And I
awesome.
love it because lilacs are like my favorite
Hmm.
scent. I
I
love it.
love them too.
And my grandmother, who was my best friend, my dad's mom, she had like a certain type of cigarette that she liked to smoke.
Mm.
And because she smoked since the age of 12, because, she was born in the 30s. It's just one of those things, right?
Right.
And so whenever I get that smell, I immediately know it's her.
Yeah.
And there's stuff like that, sense of
Yeah.
smell, like when a person is nearby that smell,
Hmm.
or that sense of smell is telling you something, or all of a sudden you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then, that's telling you something about maybe the space that you're in or the
Hmm.
room, or maybe somebody is coming to visit and they want you to know that they're there. And
Hmm.
for me, that's a comforting thing,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that smell when I get it. It's usually when I'm relaxed or I'm around family members, or like, something's going on and all of a sudden. And then it's funny because my younger sister and I'll, when let's talk about this. So there was a time I was visiting my grandfather, who's her husband,
Hmm.
and my younger sister was there, and we were there, and we were talking or whatever, and he was taking a nap, and all of a sudden I go, "Do you smell that?" She goes, "Yeah." And we both smelled my grandmother's cigarette smoke independently of each other.
Well,
And
that's
she was like, "Yeah,
cool.
I wasn't gonna say anything." And I was like, "Yeah, I wasn't either."
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool when you can share those
Mhm.
experiences with the sister or with whoever. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. One thing that I get a lot is once in a while when I walk into my house or come in through the back door from the garage into the house, I smell my grandma's house, like at the farm where I have the most fond memories, and I can smell her like cooking or whatever it is. I don't know, like old house probably, but I don't know. But you just smell that smell, and I always say hi grandma,
Yeah.
whatever. But there are a few of those. Sometimes I can smell cigarettes when my dad is around me too. And that's cool. Um, it's just really cool when you learn to hone in on those messages that we're getting from those
Right.
that are around us.
Right.
And that's just a tiny part of intuition,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Just a small
It,
piece.
there's so many aspects of it that we can learn and grow and just learn about. And once you start doing that, it's so fun and it opens up a whole new world to you.
It
And
does.
that's really cool.
Yeah. And the more that your higher self and your guides and your loved ones and everyone knows that you're paying attention and that you're
Mhm.
noticing the
Yeah.
messages from any of those,
Hmm.
the more that you get them, the more that they send, the more that you get. So then it's kind of a beautiful ride as you begin to pay more attention, and
Yeah.
your higher self, your guides, your loved ones all know that you're paying attention. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, great, we're going to send more because we want you to know all of these things. We want you to know that we're here and that we love you and that you can go this way and you can do that way. And there's these opportunities for you and
Mm-hmm.
things. And so it can be an amazing thing as you hone that muscle, as you pay attention, you're going to get more and more and more. And how cool is that? Because the more information you have, the more that you can find your way to that path that you've really set for yourself. I want to go here. I want to do this. I'm interested in this. I want to learn that. I want, happiness, and I want to enjoy my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I want abundance, and I want to feel good, and I want to have a job that feels amazing. All those things you've asked for, as you follow your intuitive senses, it leads you on that path.
Yeah, it really does. And it's, I think it's one of the most important things that we should learn at a young age. But if you didn't, now is a good time, no matter what your age, because your life can be so much more fulfilling, I think, if you do learn how to navigate the unknown.
Right. And full
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Enriched, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Would
Yep.
be a good word.
Yeah.
It enriches your life in ways that can be both expected and unexpected.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing, once you open yourself up to the fact that you are an intuitive being. We all are. It's natural, it's innate within all of us. You have gut feelings. I know that you do. You can't lie about it. Whether you have any one of the clairs that we talked about.
Right.
Yeah. There is one that comes most naturally to you, and whether you're aware of it or not, you're using it on a day-to-day basis. You're either ignoring it or you're following it to your benefit or detriment.
Right. That's true. Yeah. One of the teachers that I started with to learn about trusting my intuition, I think, and learning how to hone those muscles a bit was Sonia Choquette. Have you ever read any of her?
I haven't read any of her stuff, but I do know who she is.
Yeah, and she teaches a lot of the basics, and she's done that for many, many years. And I got one of her card decks, maybe one of the first ones I ever had, and I would just pick a card every day and look at it and um kind of feel into it, what I got from it. And then I'd read in the book and see if it was anything like what I looked at, or I kept track of them to see if anything repeated often. And it was just a kind of a fun way to see if I was getting it, because I didn't have a teacher at the time that I could go to. So,
and it's nice to have tools to help you feel that validation.
Right.
So that second guessing yourself, it kind of takes some of that out of it. So like, I'm getting this, and then you get that validation through some of the other tools that you can use to build your intuition, and it helps build your confidence. And that's one of the biggest things about like, card decks, and we're talking about like Oracle card decks or things like that.
Yeah.
Is that they help you build your confidence so that you begin to trust your own intuitive senses by getting that validation through the cards. So one thing that I like to do, and we can maybe walk through this a little bit, and we can always talk more about card decks before. I know we have in the past last year a little bit about how to read cards and things. But one of the things that's useful to do is, so if you have a question about something, ask the question, ask your higher self, ask your guides, whomever, about, okay, so I have this question. I want to know the answer, which direction to go, or whatever it is, right? And then whatever you get for yourself, write that down. Like your first thought about it, write that down, no matter what it is, right? And then you can pick a card based on that. Say, okay, I want an answer to my question about, should I do this? Should I go here? What direction should I go about it? Whatever direction, whatever question you have. And then ask that with the card deck and pull a card for yourself. And then see, does it line up with what I got or does it not? Are they, are they the same or are they different? Or do they go along the same lines? Does this give me deeper information?
Right.
Pulling the card. And then you can begin to learn from that. And that's really a good way to start to develop that sense. Especially if you don't trust yourself. A lot of people don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part, is like cards are a good gateway to trusting yourself.
Yeah.
I know they helped me a lot as I was building mine.
Right. And I still use them almost
I
every
do
day.
love
I pick
cards.
a card. Yeah. It's just fun. just to get a feel for what's going on, or what your day is gonna show you, or or during the day, if you get if something's going on and it feels off, you can ask the cards, what's going on? What do I need to know about this?
Yeah, like what do I need to know? Or,
Mhm.
how can I clear the energy of what's going on or move forward from this
Right.
space
Yeah.
or, improve the situation or whatever.
Mhm. And if you are using tools like a card, or, we'll talk sometime this month about divinations. People say it different, but you can use a pendulum or dowsing rods, or, different tools that people use to hone in on their intuition a little bit more, or speak to their higher self a little easier. And by using those tools, it's just getting to your truth, really, or your intuition more. And it's okay to use those. We don't have to do it all on our own. Our guides and our intuition is here to help us and make life go a little easier.
Right.
So yeah,
And a
it'll be fun.
tool is all on how you use it.
Right. Yeah.
It's all in
It
how you
is.
use it
It
and what
is.
you use it for. And to use a tool to improve your own life, wasn't that a good reason to use a tool?
Right. Right. I mean, you use what, a potato peeler is easier to use than a knife to do it, right?
Right. We use spreadsheets to keep track of, accounting.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have computers, and those are tools to help us in our jobs.
Yeah.
Now we have AI that can write whole things for us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're all just tools, and it's all in how you use it.
Yeah.
And the same is true of any type of tool, like oracle cards, or like you said, a
Mhm.
pendulum, or using dowsing rods. Any of those things, it's all in how you choose to use it and what you're using it for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you get to choose that. Isn't that beautiful? You get
Yeah.
to choose. It's
Yeah.
your life. You have free will. You get to choose, how am I going to use that tool in the best and highest way for myself?
Mhm.
What does that mean for me?
Yeah, and you'll be drawn to what is going to be the most fun for you to use. So
Right. Like some people love cards. Some people love using a pendulum to ask their higher self questions. Some
Mhm.
people, use the dowsing rods, and that helps as well. And I mean, there's a million tools that you could use
Yeah.
for that. I mean, those are just a couple that we know very well,
Right.
and that we use in our own lives.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cards are a wonderful one when you're wanting to build your intuitive senses and begin to trust yourself.
Yeah.
That confidence builder helped me along my way,
Mhm. Yeah.
trusting the messages that I was receiving for myself and for others was really important, because
Right.
for me, that's a calling, and it's something that's really important for me to be able to get right.
Mhm.
And so I use that to begin to build my confidence, so I know, what does it feel like when I'm receiving a message and when I'm not?
Right.
What does it feel like when I'm getting those inspired thoughts and when I'm not?
Mhm.
What is that, how to trust myself and building those skills. And I think oracle cards are a beautiful tool for that. It's like a gateway to your intuitive senses.
It is. Yep. And remember, if you ever do use them, or whatever tools you use, you can only ask about yourself. You can't ask if somebody else loves you or wants to date you or whatever, the fun questions that we used to ask the 8 ball when we were kids, or whatever. Some people don't
The
even know
magic
what that
8 ball.
but
People are like, what's that?
yeah, they do still have them. I've
I
seen them
know.
in stores. Yeah.
Fun.
So, it has to be for yourself. It can't be questions about others. And remember that, because if you're trying to ask things about someone else, everybody has free will. Remember that. That's a huge thing. And everybody is on their own journey and their own path. So, it's not up to us to know what's going to happen with somebody else. So,
Right.
ask for yourself. That's one place where you can be a little selfish. Ask about you.
Ask about yourself.
Yeah.
And to give a reading for someone else, First, there
Mhm.
has to be permission.
Right.
And
Yep.
second, it takes a lot of skill to do that effectively,
Mhm.
and so in
Yeah.
order to do that, you need to do readings for yourself to
Yeah.
begin to build that
Yeah.
intuitive sense. If that's something that you're interested in doing in the future,
Right.
is you need to practice, practice, practice
That's
because
what's
you don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, and that's a perfect place to start,
Yes.
doing them for yourself because you will hone those skills and learn what questions to ask, because a lot of it is asking the right questions too.
Yes. How to ask a question is something that's really important when it comes to building your intuitive senses.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is. It is really important,
Mm-hmm.
And what tool you're using can depend on how you do your question.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing dowsing rods or you're doing your pendulum, a yes or no question is much more effective
Yeah.
than trying to ask a multifaceted,
Yeah.
multi-layered
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
And usually, if you want to ask a series of questions, you should figure out, okay, how can I ask this in a way that I can actually get an answer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. I like that you said that. I
Because if you're not getting a clear answer, am I asking a clear question? Would be a good question to ask yourself.
Right.
Am I asking this in a clear way, or am I asking in a way that is confusing or doesn't make a whole lot of sense?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I need to break it down to a series of questions and ask this part first, then this part, then this part,
Yeah.
and that brings clarity. Because a lot of times that's the thing is like if I'm not clear about what I want or the question I'm asking,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a muddled answer also.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's through one of your senses, one of the clairs, or through a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's something to think about. I'm not getting clear answers. Well, do you have clear questions?
Right.
Are you clear on the
Yeah.
direction you want to go? Are
Yeah.
you clear about really what it is that you are asking? Or are you like, oh, I guess I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's another good thing to
Yeah.
think about too. How am I asking?
Don't put a bunch of questions in one question.
Right, because then you're going to get a whole bunch of answers at once, and
Yeah.
that's going to be very confusing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny, when I'm doing the reading,
It's
I'll
good.
get that. Or they'll ask like three things in one sentence. They'll be like, well, there are multiple layers to that because you just asked three things.
Right.
So we're going to start with this
One.
one thing,
Yeah.
go through that, and then we'll go to the rest of it and how it all relates to each other. But if you try to answer all at once, they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
What? And that's not helpful
Right.
in a reading for yourself or anybody else. So clear
Mhm.
questions gets more clear answers. So if you're
Yeah.
not getting clear answers, what's the question that you're asking? It's a good thing to ask yourself.
Yeah. And be truthful with yourself, asking the questions. Don't beat around the bush. Ask what you want to,
If you're going
really
to tell
know.
the truth to anyone,
Yeah.
it should probably be yourself.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself, because
Yeah.
the more honest you are with yourself, the more clear that you can be within your own life journey.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Should we just kind of demo one?
Sure, why
Or
not?
what?
Just give me a deck. Let's go.
I like this. This is my favorite. So first, people have different stories they tell about their cards to themselves. People have different wishes or different things that they do with their cards, Um, uh, sometimes people knock on them just to get rid of any energy that's from the last time you used them.
Energy or questions
Anybody,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Some people don't like anyone else to touch their cards. I'm not from that school, so I'm fine with. Some people will, like if you're doing a reading for someone else, some people will have you cut the deck. So it's just everybody has their own way of doing things,
Mhm.
and that's fine, Do what you want to do. Do you? When I'm doing something for myself, I always shuffle them. If this is a big deck, so it's hard to shuffle.
Mhm.
But I always just mix them up. Sometimes I just keep going and going and set your intention first. Ask your question in your head. You don't have to say it out loud.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll just shuffle them till one falls out. sometimes I'll just pick one. So
Yeah.
do whatever.
For me, I always like to just put them to my heart and set my intention. Yeah, there you go. And ask for, the highest and greatest messages for myself or whatever my intention is
Mhm.
in that moment. And then that's when I start shuffling. And I just have my intention in my mind. Like I want
Yeah.
to know what I can do to improve the energy of this week. And see, as soon as I started to ask that question, then they started to come apart on me. You see
Right.
that?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm trying to see, one just fell right out, trying to answer the question. And
That's
actually,
cool.
I have three that fell out together. And it's
Cool.
funny because like see these three all fell out of the deck at the same time
Yeah.
when I asked that question, what can I do to improve the energy of this week?
That's so
And
cool.
they all just boom, right there for me. There's my answer. Easy peasy. And it depends, some people will pull one card, some people will do three, some people will do a whole setting, and there's different settings that you can do. I
Mm-hmm.
usually go with what intuitively I feel.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to do a wheel with something in the center? Do I want to do just a set? Do I want to do, a more elaborate setup? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
just go with what my intuition tells me to do if I'm doing a card reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it just kind of goes with these. When I get three, I always line them up.
Mm-hmm. I do too. And I usually pick three if I'm not just doing one card like this, but yeah. But if three jump out or however many fall out,
Yeah. Or if it
that's
feels
what
right
you
to pull
need.
three,
Yeah.
feels right to pull seven,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But for me, that's what, well, there we
Yeah.
go.
So cool. I love it. Yeah. So then, once you get your cards, just look at them for a little bit and see what you feel, what kind of
And I'll
messages
show
are
you
you
one of these
getting?
ones.
Yeah.
So you can look at the colors, you can
And
look at the
those.
picture, you can look at what's going on in the card and what do
Mhm.
you feel? What do you sense? What do you know
Mm-hmm.
about your question when you're doing that? It's always a good idea to write it down as you're
Yeah.
looking at it. So then you can just kind of come back to your notes or type it out or whatever
Mm-hmm.
feels good to you or put it in your phone, do like a voice recording,
Yeah.
whatever. Everybody's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just say, okay, what does this card feel like to me? What does it mean in relation to my question?
Yeah.
And then, you know, what do you want to add to that? You wanted to add
Mm-hmm.
more, I think.
No, just that, I do a lot with chakras, so I usually look at the colors first and see, okay, what colors? So these are both purple. That to me is the higher chakras, maybe the third eye, probably mostly crown. So that those are kind of more of a spiritual message, I would say, that it would have. Mine is kind of the earthy tones, so I would say they're more about the lower chakras, the root chakra, your foundation, that kind of stuff. So that's where I start with mine just because I do a lot of chakra work.
Mhm.
But whatever, I mean, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, just see what jumps out at you first
Mhm.
and what you feel about it. So,
I like to
yeah,
write it down because then once you
yeah,
write down what you've gotten from intuitively from your cards,
yeah.
whether it's one word or full sentences or the whole story,
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Once you've gotten all of that, then you can go to the book
Yeah,
and use the
and
book because each
see,
one comes with a book and it'll
Mhm.
give you information about what the author intended the cards to mean.
Yeah,
And you can take what resonates from that little story that they have in here about the card and what it means for your life. What resonates with you and what
yeah.
feels true to you will add to what you've already intuitively gotten.
Mhm. And it's really cool to do that because 9 times out of 10, it's going to make sense. And what you got naturally is probably the gist of what is in the book.
Right.
And
And
it's
that's where
so
the
cool.
validation piece is so useful
Yeah,
for people
yeah.
with using oracle cards because, okay, well, that's what I got. And then either the book expands upon it or it synopses what you got already.
Mhm.
And so that's what's beautiful about it is it helps you validate
Yeah.
for yourself so you begin to trust and build that confidence.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so, so good. So do you want to kind of give a message? Did you ask for like the audience, or did you ask for yourself, or when you picked
I
your
just asked,
cards?
how can I improve the energy of the week?
That's cool.
You know, and that could be for me or that could be for all of us. You know,
Right.
it just
Yeah.
kind of depends. Um, so one of the things, so I'll say just a couple, I won't do a full reading or anything. I'll
Right.
just do a
Yeah.
couple of the things that I'm just getting immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I'm being told to do, and this might be true for you also, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this reading live on YouTube, is to remember to focus within.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm being told to do is remember my meditation, remember to go within, remember to quiet the mind so that I can hear the messages that are for me, so I can be calm and respond to situations rather than react, so that I can be my highest and greatest self. Remember that spiritual aspect of myself that is larger than just me.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. And so to reconnect with that so that I can be spiritually centered, so I can be of the most use in my own life, but also in the lives of the people that I'm serving. Because, you know, I serve people from, you know, very young ages all the way to 90s, right? So it's important for me to be in the right place, to be able to serve them the best, especially if they're struggling.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yes. And then the second one, so the first one, actually, the name of the card is Big Picture, which I just noticed. And then it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
The bigger
it does.
picture. The second card, it says keep your dreams alive. And it's very earthy, it's very grounding to me. It feels like remember to stay grounded in the current moment so that you can keep moving forward towards the things that you're wanting in your life. It means staying centered. It means being in this moment, because this moment is where the moment of creation is, where everything flows to and from. And in the picture, there's somebody blowing the wind. So it's like you're floating on the wind of your life by being in this current moment and flowing with it rather than trying to push against.
I like that.
And then the third one, it says perfect setting. And it's really beautiful, the colors. It's lots of pinks and purples and greens and some yellow in there. So when we're talking about colors, you know, it's like a full spectrum of colors in this one beautiful card. And what's happening is she is painting the sunset. And for me, what that means for me is remember to focus on the creation of the life that I want, and to stay focused on that and remembering that, and remember that what I'm focusing on is what I'm creating for my life, and to refocus. What do I want? What am I creating in this moment? Is it what I want to be creating, or am I kind of creating by default? Or have I slipped a little bit and I need to refocus within myself, like the big picture is telling us, so that I can create my life as I want it to be? Because I am a magnificent creator. We all are co-creating our lives with the source of all that is at every single moment. And so remembering, I am creating right now, I'm painting the picture of my life going forward. And am I focusing on what I want? Or am I not?
Yeah.
Am I consciously creating? It's a reminder to consciously create, and to create the perfect setting and not wait for it to come about, because that's, you know, that's not very effective.
Right.
We know.
Yeah, been there.
Right. And so this is just like a little mini reading almost. It's almost a reminder that we're consciously creating in every moment, and to remember to pay attention to what's coming from within us.
Yeah.
Because that is where guidance truly lies.
Right.
Am I paying attention to that? Am I moving forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I got, it's funny how, not funny, but it always
They
happens.
always go together.
Yeah, they always go together. So the one I got is release the dark wound and let love live. and it's two hands releasing a fish into the water. And it's really earthy, and to me, it goes along with the cards that Carissa got for everybody right now to let go of our wounds so that we can move forward. Let go of the past. We don't need to carry that with us and move forward into the beautiful dream that we want to live in. So,
Love that.
and I think that's a good message for our times right now. Release the wounds and, make better lives for ourselves, and
Yeah.
we can all dwell together and commune.
Right. You know what's beautiful about that is, so I have the Louise Hay daily calendar,
Oh yeah.
and every day it has an affirmation
Yeah.
and a beautiful picture that goes with it. And today's affirmation was, I let go of old habits that no longer serve
Oh,
me.
that's cool. That's what's the most fun about cards and learning about intuition and living in this kind of a world where you're paying attention to what's going on around you and to your life and your body, and the messages that you get from the things around you. Everything is in sync.
Yeah.
Everything works together.
Yeah.
And once you start recognizing that, it's going to happen more and more. I mean, we laugh about this stuff all the time because it's like, oh, hello, I wasn't paying attention again, what's going on? But it's just makes life so much more fun, and I mean,
Delightful.
rewarding. And yeah, it's so cool to know the layers and to realize that we're not alone in this life that we're living.
Right.
We all have community around us, and we all have helpers on the other side, and
Yeah.
within. So we can never be wrong, really. We're doing the best we can with what we have, and the
Yeah.
more tools you have, the better it gets.
Right. And the easier it is to see the connections. And we
Right.
could see through this short little reading all the serendipities, not just from right now,
Right.
but from the whole day coming together
Yeah.
and seeing, quote, like this card says, the bigger picture,
Right.
and how those
Yeah.
pieces all fit together today
Yeah.
in a way that was unexpected and delightful. And that really is
Mhm.
being in the flow of your life, is when you get those unexpected delights, coincidences,
Yeah.
coincidences aren't really coincidence, and serendipities and things that come in to surprise and delight us when we're in that flow. And that's really
Right.
what just happened in real time,
Yeah.
unexpectedly, on this wonderful YouTube
Yeah. It's
video that we're
awesome.
doing.
So cool. Yeah. So, anything else to wrap it up today?
I think we did, just kind of like a little overview, little synopsis, and I think
Yeah.
that was wonderful. And, Tracy and I decided
Yeah.
that we're going to be doing our very first,
Yay.
I don't know if you can hear that on Zoom, our very first, so I did a drum roll, online readings gallery. And we've done tons of those in person together, and they're always fun and delightful.
Yeah.
But we've never done one online,
Right.
on Zoom. And so we decided that we're going to try that this month, because it's the wonderful month of October, when a lot of us are thinking about our ancestors and how our loved ones are drawing closer in spirit during this time of the
Mhm.
harvest. And so it's really fun to do that at this time of the year.
Yeah.
And we usually do one in October. So we're going to do one online for you guys. The
Yeah.
date we will put in the comments once we set the date.
Right.
And we'll talk about it next week
Yeah.
as well, so that you can figure out, and we'll let you know how you can buy your tickets. And I can't wait.
I think that'll be so much
It's been
fun.
a long time coming, because we love doing them in person.
Right.
But
And
doing
we
them
will do
online
one
with our
in
friends.
person soon too.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will, of course.
Yeah.
But doing one online with our friends would be wonderful, because some of our friends are pretty far away.
Yeah. Yeah. So it will be fun.
So
I'm
watch for
excited
that.
for that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So Next time we'll explore some tools the rest of the month and some different other aspects of intuition and how you can hone yours and what you can do to help yourself get answers that you want from your inner self if you haven't explored that much yet.
Right. And maybe even talk a little bit about how to connect with your own guides, your spirit guides.
Yeah.
And some different ways to connect with messages in that way as well, because your higher self and your spirit guides have the same purpose in mind for you, and that's your highest and greatest good and the most fun and delightful life that you can have while you're here.
We're here to live a fun, amazing life and to do what feels good to you to do. So we like to help you with that and give you the more tools you have, the easier it is, right?
Absolutely, 100% agree. And tools are only useful if you use them.
Right. That's something we forget sometimes.
Yeah, something we've talked about recently as well, if you've watched our podcast.
So, Carissa, where can we find you on this wonderful world of the web?
On the web, you can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. You can find us collectively on Facebook at Our Soul Space. You can find us also collectively on YouTube, where we're going to post this wonderful video at SoulSpace Podcast. And it's just at SoulSpace Podcast, nothing before, nothing after. You'll find lots of people that don't look like us.
Right.
We have our picture on there if you're looking to really find and subscribe to us. And if you're watching this video, like and subscribe, because we want to show you beautiful things about life every week and teach you things as coaches. And teach you more about living your life in a happy and delightful way. And then I also have my Square site, which is fun because light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between .square.site. Yes, I will work on the website so that it's easier. But if you want to get to that Square site to purchase some things, you can just go to my Facebook, Light of Hope Healing, and click on the link to it. That's easier.
That's easy. Easy peasy.
And Tracy, where can people find you in a much more less elaborate way?
Mine is pretty easy. inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired Signals and at Inspired Signals Studio for my art and other stuff.
Wonderful.
My creative space.
Yes. And Tracy has many beautiful things there and in the works.
I'm teaching Reiki. I have some Reiki classes scheduled, so you can find those on my Facebook page. I posted a little poster, a little flyer for the dates. Coming up is the 12th. I think it is the date. It's the Monday, next Monday.
October 12th.
That is Reiki 1 class. So if you're interested in that, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Let me know.
Go to inspiredsignals.com.
Inspiredsignals.com. I don't have it on there, but you can get my email off of there. Yeah, so that's it for now.
That's
wonderful. And I have some art stuff coming up too. I haven't scheduled the dates and I need to do that this week.
Yeah. I can't wait for your artistic alchemy classes again.
Yes,
those are forthcoming and those are amazing.
There's a series of 4. I might add another one to that I've come up with. So
awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And each week, my dear mother reminds me that we should talk about this stuff at the beginning of our podcast rather than at the end. However, we continue to remember at the end. So, Mom, if you're watching to the end, I love you. Anybody else who is watching to the end to see all the things that we're coming up with and we're going to be doing soon, we love and appreciate you as well. Thank you for watching the whole podcast. We hope that you'll join us next week for more things about building your intuition and communicating with your higher self and the others who love and adore you and are here to help you in this life. So I look forward to it. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.